Okay.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. I'm here with Robert Carver yet again. It's been, what, a year, has it, Robert, since the last time?
Yes, it has been almost a year. It looks like we do one of these every year. It's too long of a time.
It was fun last time, so I'm looking forward to this one as well, actually. So, yeah, welcome again. And if you're watching this, you'll be watching this either on Matrix TV on Twitch or on my YouTube channel, which is also live. So if you have any questions in either of those environments, please just leave a chat. I'll be monitoring them. I can then ask Robert the various questions as well. So if you've got anything you wanted to find out, Robert is one of the devs of Strategic Command World War One, and particularly the battles for Ypres. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Ypres, right?
Ypres, right.
I pronounce it Ypres. I wish Bill was here. Bill could then tell you how to pronounce it.
Because I used to call it Ypres.
And I would too. I
did a little bit of research, and it was it had so many different pronunciations, but Ypres seems to be about the right one, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, so. The battle for Ypres. Sorry, it's not the RES; it's the other way around, isn't it? The way it sort of works.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that sort of almost French pronunciation or Belgic pronunciation. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to be talking about this, the latest DLC coming for Strategic Command World War One, which has been so well received. Like the World War One game. Like I was looking at the ratings. Like it's incredibly high for a war game. Like war games don't tend to perform that well in terms of people actually giving them good reviews, but in terms of Strategic Command, what would you put that down to? Is it just because it's so approachable?
I think it's the game. It is approachable. It has these layers in it. At first you come in, it's more like a beer and pretzels. I can drink or eat and still play. But then as you start to get into it, you start to see not only are your options, there's many options, but the depth, the units, you can change the look of the units. You can make decisions that are outside of the map. There's just so much depth to it as you start getting into it, which is great because it's good, high playability.
Yes, yeah, and that's, I think, with all of the Strategic Command games. Like it was last time when we spoke about it as well. We were talking about the war in the Pacific at that stage, and just even the little things like the strategic movement and stuff like that, which it was interesting the way that you could then sort of show how, like as you said before, you can play it almost as a beer and pretzels type game, which means it's a fairly easy game to actually grasp initially, but difficult to master. I guess that's sort of really there's more and more that you can actually end up doing in the game than what it first appears. So what do you suggest we do today? There's a lot of course, we're going to be talking a lot about the background behind the game, in this DLC in particular, maybe the history as well. I'm always interested in the actual histories, but I guess for people who are interested in the actual DLC, should we just start with a game, and then we can talk about the I think last time we did the history first and then the game, but I'm always mindful that people who are watching this may be just wanting to sort of have a quick look at what the DLC has,
yes,
and so on and so forth. Now, the DLC actually launches on the 14th of July, 15th of July if you're in Australia, but 14th of July pretty much everywhere else. So that's only a few days away. Let's say at time of recording, we're live streaming, so everyone's sort of seeing it live at this stage. So it's a very, very short period away. I'll just click on single player and just sort of and we can maybe just talk about the different the different actual campaigns that are available, what they cover, sort of like, I guess, the flavour of those campaigns. So if I just go click into here now, the base games have all been sort of set up with the more orangey sort of colour at the top of the list there. Then we actually have a few little things, for example, that are coming from the Empires and Turmoil DLC. But the first of the actual Ypres campaigns is the first battle here, which is the first battle of Ypres, October the 9th, 1914. So it says this battle ends the race to the sea and marks the beginning of entrenched warfare on the Western Front. Do you want to just talk a little bit about, I guess, the approach for this one? Because I'm assuming, like, with Ypres, this went on the whole war, didn't it? Like it was essentially like trench warfare for a large portion of the war, and it was sort of where the different both sides I think tried to break through at this location over different years. So, and I'm guessing that with the race to the sea, this should be quite a fluid campaign. Would that be right to say?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was a very fluid campaign. The first one was more about maneuver. The last four campaigns were about trench warfare and about different aspects of that. Yeah, the race to the sea was basically as the Allied and as Germany was advancing through Belgium, the Allies would try to outflank them. That means them going kind of north and then east. And then the Germans would counter that by going north and then west. So you had these two groups trying to outflank each other and keep moving north. And eventually they hit the English Channel, which is hence the name Race to the Sea. This campaign does a really good job at showing the maneuverability. It has a number of cavalry units that are out front scouting. You really don't have any front line at first, and then it develops. By mid-game, it develops into this static front from the North Sea all the way down to the bottom of the map by Lille. And it allows you really to see how this trench warfare developed in this one for the whole war, for the whole Western Front.
And this is just from this one campaign, this one that we're talking about right now.
Right.
Yeah, right. So
it's the first one.
So it's like this. This is a sort of like a push to try to get, like, to turn the flank. Would that be sort of like the way that you'd actually describe it as you move north, initially, and then and then consolidation?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next one in the list. So that's the first battle of what is it? Ypres.
Ypres.
The second battle.
It'll be a while to remember. Learn it too.
So the second battle is the 22nd of April to the 25th of May. So I guess this is trench warfare by this stage. For the first time in the Western Front, the Germans unleashed poison gas on a massive scale, introducing a new and terrifying weapon to modern warfare. So is this where the Germans then sort of are trying to do that, like a almost? I mean, it is a large ditch effort, isn't it? At this stage of the war for them, like even though it's only 1915, they still try a fair few times, but this is, I guess, their last really good chance to actually end the war.
Yeah, I think it was. You know, they were by this time the lines had solidified all the way from the North Sea all the way down to the Swiss border. In this campaign, it's replicate that northern part of the line, and the Germans are trying to figure out a way to break that line, and they choose a small portion of the line just northeast of Ypres, and it's where the French are. There's some French Algerian troops and French territorial troops. I think the Germans recognize that as a little bit weaker part of the line. So they launch a gas attack. The gas attack was the largest one in the war so far. I guess there had been some others on the Eastern Front, but this is when it was first used in such a large scale. And it shocked the troops at the front line, and they withdrew. And this campaign shows the British reaction and the German continued attempt to get to Ypres, that vital rail connection in Flanders.
And so that was chlorine gas, was it? The first attacks? Or mustard gas?
I think it was.
Yeah, I can't remember which one.
I think it was the chlorine. I think mustard came a little bit later. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, I can't remember if mustard gas was the first one or chlorine, but anyway, it's still poison gas, which would be horrific, particularly if you haven't sort of encountered that before. And was it after the war that they then outlawed it, or was it actually during the war that they started to talk about trying to stop people from using it?
You know, that's really good. I think it was the intra-war years. I think it was after the war, but I could be wrong. But I know it was before World War II. Right.
Yeah. And I thought it was so shocking that people actually, because the British ended up using it as well, didn't they? And the French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
both sides.
There was actually nobody had gas masks, so there were these improvised methods, that only partially worked. So it was really quite shocking. It's like, you're out there all alone. There's no protection. it was quite a dramatic. It must have been very dramatic, very traumatizing to those troops, the troops that actually fought through it. Especially on the Canadian side, um, they weren't exposed to it before. They didn't have protections before, but they actually saved the line. The Canadians were the ones that stabilized the line for the Allies.
Right. Okay. Cool. Then we have the next one that we actually have in the list is on the next page. Now we've got the Messines Ridge in 1917. Does that come sort of next, or is that really the like I know that we've got in the third, the fifth, and then the fourth, but I guess it's third, fourth, fifth. When is the Messines Ridge? This is June. Actually, what's this one here? Yeah, that's July. So this one must be, and I'm probably pronouncing that one incorrectly as well, I would guess. I'll just read what it says. So it says the British stand ready to strike the German salient south of Ypres at Messines. The infantry and artillery are tightly coordinated and mine beneath the German trenches and ready to detonate. Oh, is this that movie that Hill something or other? Is that what this is about?
Hill 60.
Hill 60. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where they have a great big where they try to blow the mountain up.
Yeah, there was I think there was a total of 22 mines that were laid, that were dug under the trenches. I think 9 of them actually made it. And we actually simulate that in the game.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So really quite different there again as well. And so this is when the British are now trying to sort of then push back. So then we've got the third battle of Ypres, which is, it says here, the Allies are on the offensive, aiming to seize the ridges south and east of Ypres, as well as the railway station at Passchendaele. So is this essentially the Battle of Passchendaele?
Exactly. It's a very long, drawn-out campaign. It's one of the longer campaigns in number of turns. It's where you start to see the mud, the weather really impact the battle, and the weather dynamics in this particular campaign slow down the Allied attack, really make it hard for them to push forward to Passchendaele.
Right, and actually, just talking about the terrain and the effects of the terrain, the Belgians actually flooded all of the lowlands, didn't they? Like leading up in, like just below Ypres, and that had an impact right from the start, didn't it?
Oh yeah, in fact, we included on the map. When we get to the map, you'll look at the northern part of the map, and so you see that flooding area already in there. And actually, I believe they started flooding it in 1914, but it stayed flooded the entire time. So it kind of gave the Allies a chance to move more of their forces, especially the Belgian forces, down south of that point, and really reinforce the lines. It made a shorter line for the Allies.
Right, and with that flooding, I mean that was salt water, wasn't it? So that went into their sort of prime growing lands. It's sort of, I always found that interesting that someone would have the courage to actually destroy their croplands. And I don't know how long it took before they could actually make use of them again, but I would imagine it would be an awfully long time.
Yes, I can imagine. Very destructive.
So that's the third. The fourth Battle of Ypres, which is now in 1918. So this is in the 9th to the 30th of April. So the Battle of Lys, Operation Georgette, aims to break the Allies in April. Of 1918 before the American reinforcements arrive. So is this Falkenhayn? What's his name? I've got his name wrong.
Falkenhayn. Yeah.
It is Falkenhayn.
I think he was. Yeah, he was one of the leading generals on the Western Front. I think that was one of his battles. This battle was one where, again, Germans trying to break the Allied line around that Ypres. This was actually south, close to the Lys River. The Germans did penetrate quite a bit. Finally, they threw a lot of reserves in there from the south. That's off map for the game. These reinforcements come in from the western side of the map, and they really stemmed the tide. You start to see the coalition, the Allied coalition, growing. On this map, you'll see Portuguese as well as Indian troops, Australian troops, and New Zealand troops.
Wow. Okay, so you got a lot fighting in that fourth battle then. And so this is Germany's last throw, isn't it, to try to at least just get something?
Yeah, this is part of the offenses that they had after they defeated the Russians. You had the new stormtrooper type units coming in using infiltration tactics, and I think this was the second of the five, if I'm correct, the five offenses that were on the Western Front that were trying to break the Allied line before the Americans would come in and actually provide even more resources to the Allied side.
Yeah, yep. And then we have the fifth Battle of Ypres. So this one here is from the 28th of September to the 24th of October. Known as the advance in Flanders, the Entente seeks to sweep the Germans from Belgium and force a decisive end to the war. And this is sort of like towards the very, very end of the war, isn't it?
Yeah, in fact, this particular campaign ends in October of 1918. So it's basically the offensive that the Allies launch. It's one of the offensives that the Allies launched near the end of the war to break the Allied line. And most of the writings say the Allies expected the Germans to hang on until 1919 and were rather surprised. And this campaign really does set it up like that. It shows that there are still strong German forces just east of the Allied line. And once the Allies break through, they find clear running across the map. And then the Germans have a chance on the last maybe a quarter, 20% of the map to hold them off. So it's very dramatic in that sense. It really displays what was happening near the end of the war.
So I guess even just going through those 6 different campaigns that are in the DLC, they're all completely, like, it's not as if it's just the same campaign with a few different units here and there. It's actually, it really dynamically shifts a lot as you play through these campaigns, even just from what you're sort of describing there. I mean, again, just thinking of people who are trying to make up their mind, is this a good campaign for me? Like, it sounds like it's got a bit of everything.
Yes, it does. I think one of the things that shows the progression of this of the war is this campaign, the whole Ypres campaign from 1914 to 1918. And in our game, what we're doing is each game we're introducing different technology levels. So the units start to upgrade. First, you may notice that you had cavalry on the first campaign, and then starting in the second campaign, you start to see the cavalry aren't there. The units are there, they're just dismounted and fighting as leg infantry. And you also start to see uniforms change. The French get rid of their bright colored uniforms. The Germans get rid of their older helmets to the newer helmets.
With the spikes.
You start to see, you start to see you start to see introduction of tanks. Artillery gets a lot better. Aircraft come in to spot for the artillery. Fighter aircraft come in, and then tactical aircraft. So by the fifth campaign, you're seeing a total change in warfare. So once you've played through it, if you're interested in history, I can't say give you a first-hand view, but it's a simulated view of how the war changed throughout the time.
And I think that's one of the great things about the Strategic Command series, no matter which one you pick up. The research that you guys do actually does, you put it into the game as well, don't you? You actually give information about what actually happened historically. Like, it's...
Oh, yes, we did. That's one of my favorite parts, is to research the history and actually figure out ways of bringing that history into the game, and people can learn new things.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple things to share with you on that. I wanted to share with the audience the materials we use for research.
Did you want to do that now, or should we do that? Like, should we play a bit, or what would you prefer to do? I mean, we're talking history, so maybe we do. Yeah. Let's do it now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it later. That's fine.
I'll do it later? Okay. Yeah, I don't mind whichever way you think is going to sort of be best, just in terms of... like, in one sense, it's a rare opportunity to be able to talk to the developer about a game, and so... in one sense, it's sort of like all the background I love the background information that you guys can sort of, how you approached it, what you did, and all that sort of stuff. But I think, again, in terms of some people I guess most people that be wanting to see this will be trying to sort of think, okay, look, how does the game play? Is it right for me? So maymaybe we'll start something. We'll play it for a little bit, and then we'll deviate back out again and talk a little bit about the research and history. Because, again, as you've described, you've actually done a great job of of just really giving a flavour of just how much it does shift over the course of that period. Which one should we start? Should we start with number one, or do you have a preference?
Let's see. Yeah, let's start with number one because you can see a very open map there, and you can see how it develops. From mobile warfare to trench warfare.
Yep. Okay. And so I'll just leave everything on defaults. So the Entente is Belgium, France, and the UK. I'll just go OK there, and I'll just leave all of these on defaults as well, so I won't sort of change any of these different things. Again, actually, maybe we do just quickly talk a little bit about how, like, the different sorts of ways that people can change the look of it, because it's one of these things, like, some people love NATO counters like this, which I actually prefer playing with NATO counters, but I know that a lot of people just don't. And so there is that option there to actually just have like you still got the NATO counter in the corner. If you're a purist, it's still there.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, we're using NATO counters in 1914, but yeah, people like those images, like to use that, and so we provided them.
Okay, so actually it says Beamslam on Twitch is saying, Daz, you need to get your hand on a second-hand pickle hub. What's that? Is that a grenade or something? I don't know what a pickle hub is. Sorry, Beamslam. You'll need to explain more. Have you heard of that one before, Robert?
No, I haven't. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah, I've got no idea. All right, so we've got your national colours again as well. If I I don't know if we sort of see, we won't see them on these little things, but it's different messages, etc., different views. Oh, there we go. German word for the helmet with the point. Oh, okay, all right. So the
okay.
pickle Horber.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Beamslam. Actually, that would be pretty cool to get one of those helmets. And use it as a bike helmet.
Hiking helmet, okay.
She's got things like fog of war, weather. I guess turning these off makes the game very, very simple, like to actually have them turned off.
Yes.
But again, people play the game whichever way they wanted to be playing it. It may be a great way to learn the game, actually, to actually have the fog of war turned off with some of the scenarios, play it out. That's one thing that last time we spoke a little bit about the way the AI is generated as well. Like there is some variance, isn't there, with the way the AI will sort of approach different triggers.
Yes. There's different things you can do with the AI as a designer. You can actually program the way the units are going to be purchased. You can program the way a certain side approaches an attack. So you can modify all that. The base game, the base AI, the background AI that isn't modified does a really good job moving units around based upon the victory conditions. But there is a way for a designer to put different things in it that if you play the game once, the AI may do one thing, and the second time you play it, the AI will probably do something else.
Yeah, that's really cool. Actually, that's really, really cool. So it's sort of it's still designed. It's not as if it's just like a random algorithm, I guess, or a bit of a combination. I would imagine, depending on how the designer has actually sort of structured things from their side. Yeah. So anyway,
yes, it's the latter. It's a little bit of both.
Yeah. That's really nice, actually. All right, let's just go and click on OK and get into the game. It's only half an hour, and we're already into the game. That's really good for me. I get a lot of grief from people about how long it takes me to actually get into games.
Yeah, I don't think the first time we did this about 2 years ago, I don't think we ever got that much into the game.
No, we're just talking about the history. We're looking at Google Maps and all sorts of stuff. It was, but we'll get the game out of the way first. All right, race to the sea. So French and British forces halted the German advance and shattered the Schiefelin plan bid for a quick victory at the Marne last month. The battle saved Paris and forced the Germans to retreat to the Aisne. Now both sides have extended their lines northward in a desperate series of flanking manoeuvres, the so-called race to the sea. From the Aisne to the Channel, I hope I'm pronouncing these correctly, each army strives to turn the other's flank, only to meet strong resistance. The final struggle for control of northern France and Flanders is beginning around Ypres, where British and French and Belgian and German forces are manoeuvring for the last open ground in the west. The war of movement is ending, and the Western Front is hardening into a continuous line, one that may define the course of the entire conflict. There we go. So click to dismiss. So we have new units. We've got the 2nd Regiment. And again, I guess if people are sort of, when we look, maybe when we get in, we'll talk a little bit about the NATO counters, what they mean. Like in this case, is it three dashes up the top there? Got two X's down.
That's a regiment. Right, yep. That's an infantry regiment. Yeah.
And so if you're looking at NATO counters, the 3 little lines mean regiment, whereas the 2 X's, that means a what's the 2 X's? That's like not a division, a brigade, is it?
Yeah, division.
It is a division.
Yeah,
okay.
It's always it's kind of funny when you get to the X's. You can think of it as, well, this is a general. So a major general has 2 stars. A major general is usually in charge of a division.
Right, okay. That's cool. I didn't know that. Thank you, Robert. All right, so we've got new units. So these are Belgium units. So initially playing as the Entente, so we then, if I zoom back out, we can then sort of see the actual extent of the actual map itself. So we're playing in this region of the map. You mentioned before about the flooding. So is that on this particular map?
Yeah, sure. Look, right there where you got your cursor. That's it.
That's that area through there, right? Okay. So above that, there's a lot more flooding, I guess, in reality.
Yeah. That's where the Belgians held off the Germans for what, 3.5, 4 years.
Right, and so Antwerp is off the map to the northeast.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got Belgium territory back in through here. There's Ypres back in through this other side. Maybe if we just let's just as if you're sort of explaining the actual game to somebody who isn't familiar with it. I mean, you've got the little symbols in through here. So if I go and click on Ypres, I saw I got the new units. We need to address that first, don't we? We need to place that somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, just click OK and deploy it.
Yep, so I've got areas there. That's the only place I can place it. Just in around this little...
We do it for playability in the game, play balance. We'll put a unit, restrict its deployment, or we'll leave it open so the player can put it anywhere.
Right, okay. Yep. So there's a bit of a choice. But often it'll be around a supply hub. Would that be the correct way of thinking about it? And so these larger symbols here, like the little town symbols, does that sort of what's the designation there? Is that like a railroad that's running through in behind that road?
Right. There's the road. There's the railroad. They kind of meet there at that one city, or that one town actually.
Dixmude.
Move on. Yeah.
Well, if I go and click that one there, so no action points left. I guess that's what no AP means.
Yeah.
Yep. So no action points left for that particular unit. So at this point, we're still in the, and we don't actually have any sort of movement points at all as well. So just talking about what we sort of see on the screen here, we have the, I don't think we can sort of click on these different, we've got different things we can sort of then click on to see who's got like areas in what different locations. So we've got like the Belgium, this is their main, this is Furnes, this is the capital for the Belgian forces. The French are coming back from Anvin, and the British are located here in Saint Omer. This little indication with the dotted line, does that mean it's off map somewhere else?
No, it's actually on the map, but those dotted lines separate the territory. So the blue territory to the right of your cursor is French, and of course Saint Omer is a British enclave within France.
Right. Okay. So they just control they literally have just given the city as their city, and that's where their forces would then come into there if the different forces were actually on the actual map itself. So as I go back to the Belgian forces, like none of these three different forces have got any movement points. The MPP, that's map. That's something to do with movement, isn't it?
Oh, MPP is a little bit different, but yeah, you can move all those other units on the map. That reinforcement that came in had zero movement. But
Right.
for example, any of those, the brown ones or the blue ones, you can move those.
Right.
The
Okay.
M,
So
yeah,
if I
the
get,
MPP, yeah, that MPP is a number we use for resources for buying units.
oh, okay. Yep. Yep. Now, actually, it looks like did I click the NATO symbols on because these are NATO symbols? Maybe I sort of selected the wrong thing there. I'll just go back again to try to make it as comfortable as possible for people. It's funny, I didn't think I did that one. Is there a way for me to change the look of that in the game? Like if I just come back up into here? Oh no, it's not NATO
I think
counters.
there is. You got it.
Yeah, that's wonder why it's not showing up as the actual
Maybe you, yeah,
symbol.
you have to play the. I've never done that before, but I think it's when you play the next turn, it'll come up.
Oh, okay. So it just starts off with NATO, and then we'll start to sort of come back the other way.
I think you have to refresh in some way, but
Should I restart, or
you want to, yeah.
I'll just see if
Or
there's?
when another thing you could do is when you start a second game, you can just leave it with the different bitmaps.
Oh, that's weird.
Rules.
Actually, I clicked NATO counters on, and
Oh,
it's
you
now.
got it.
Yeah, that's
There you
strange.
go.
I've actually got NATO counters selected, so it went the opposite way. There's a bug.
Yeah.
It's not out yet, guys.
I,
This is a
I gotta
pre-release
I gotta
version.
make a I gotta make a note of that one.
So
Hey, you should be on our beta
yeah,
testing.
we're beta testing as we go. I don't know if it happens for the other ones. Anyway, that's fine. I think it's going to be easier for people to actually understand what's going on by looking at the actual little symbols that we sort of see. So we see like almost like an armored car. In fact, we do see this is Samson's armored cars from the UK, basically back in through here. So we have different movements. We can't move into the swamp. We can move sort of anywhere along through here. It's got 5 action points, and really, I guess what we're trying to do here is to sort of set up like a bit of a front line. So what I might do is move it so that we can end up coming back down towards Ypres. So I'll just move it along this road here. So move that one through there. There's the force that we just brought in back on the other side there. So they're back in there as well. We've got more of the 10th Light Cavalry from France is back in through here as well. Now, if I move into if I move them across into German territory, can they be can you just do movement by little bit of movement by little bit of movement, or so if I move to there, I can then move to there, for example. Oh yeah, then I start to see other things. Right. If I had have just if let's just say I had the movement points, but if I had have just moved all the way across to that particular force there, would it ambush me, or would the game stop before I actually make that mistake? Is it better to just do it little bit by
Yeah,
little bit?
you would see an ambush. Yeah, where you would take losses.
Right. So you're better off just doing what you can see, move a little bit at a time. Yep. I'll move
Yeah.
back onto the.
Or yeah, that'd be good. Or as the game gets farther along, the reconnaissance aircraft will be able to fly overhead.
Right. Yep. Yep. So you're doing your recon first. Well, I guess at this stage of the war, these cavalry units really are
Yeah,
the team, aren't they?
yeah, they can see out farther than the infantry can.
And so when we're looking at this one through here, like if I had the NATO symbol, and personally I prefer the NATO symbols, but if I had them turned on, this would be a division, wouldn't it? That would be a cavalry division. And we've got different divisions back down through here again as well. So we're looking at big numbers of cavalry as opposed to a regiment of cavalry, which is just going to be literally just for scouting out ahead of the other cavalry that's moving up. So if we're trying to, the other thing too is we've got like a red star there, which is, and also Ypres is a primary supply, but the red star indicates that's actually an objective, isn't it?
Yes, that's a victory condition.
Yeah. And so, I guess if we have a look around the map, is there any from the German side that we need to be, oh yeah, there we go. So rollers, it would be something that would be trying to then sort of go and claim. So we can assume that this armoured car won't be able to get to there before these start to sort of then come back through as well. And we have another victory condition back up through that other side. So I guess from the strategy perspective, we're trying to move across another objective down in Lille, down through here, or Lily. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. And again, we've just got these little sort of scouting regiments, I guess, at the start. Let's just see what we find as we sort of move up. There we go. We've found ourselves another cavalry group. So again, we're looking at fast movement, aren't we, in this early stage of the actual of the campaign? I'll move this one up to this objective. I'll just quickly rattle through all of these. British forces, I think, or is that British or French? Yeah, UK. This is French forces. I will just move in and block that one off. Oh, the other thing too is I can undo that. It's unlimited undos, isn't there? When you move, like if I had have found that particular unit at that point, that would have then that would I still be able to do the undo? Like if I had have discovered the unit, or not really?
No.
No.
Once you run into another unit and you're ambushed, you lose that ability to undo your movement.
Yep. Okay. And what about if you don't get ambushed, but you still discover a unit? Is that you still lose the undo at that stage as well?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So I think it's worth just I keep on doing this. At least there's unlimited undos. What we have here is an interesting sort of situation, I guess, and with this particular division of cavalry, this 5th Cavalry Division from Germany. So they're actually in this particular little town, and one of the really cool things about the game again as well is the terrain that you sort of see through here. And the game is a beautiful game for a war game. Like it's sort of like quite often war games don't feel as just as pleasant as the strategic command games actually do. So we've got sort of like hills in through here, for example. I don't know if it doesn't tell us here, hill in Belgium, and you can see down through the bottom right down in here when I hover over a different unit, I'm then getting different information about the hills. Do you want to talk a little bit about the terrain, and maybe I'll just go and you just point out if you want to talk about what does what, I can then just go and show it on the map.
Sure. Go up a little bit to Ypres.
Actually, what I'll do is
I'll show it from there.
I'll flip across to this one here. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So you go north a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're hovering over
Okay.
Ypres. Oh, hang on. That's gone
I
off.
lost your video.
Oh, I've done the wrong thing here. Sorry, guys. There we
Yeah,
go.
just move your cursor north. It'll move the map.
Yep.
There you go.
So around Ypres.
Okay, right there's Ypres. Yeah,
Yep.
there's Ypres. So if you look and you see those they look like little bumps to the east, around where that cavalry is. That is hills. That's actually those ridges that were so important. Flanders is basically flat, as you can see and then you have these few hills, but you have this one ridge line where that cavalry unit is up north into Passchendaele. And that's a lot of the fighting took place to secure those hills, because once you secured the hills, the thought was, well, then we can take Ypres because we'll be able to direct fires down there. You see the main river going north-south, that's blue. You'll see that often. Also, you'll see little woods and little forests in like a green patch. You'll see those. We talked about the roads. I think that's pretty much it for the terrain. It's mostly flat, dotted by some hills and some forests.
And the hills, it's very important to control these hills, isn't it? Like these entrances into Ypres, like the Hill 60, which is the one we were talking about before, which they tried to blow up, and the Messines
Yes,
Ridge, I
that's
guess, coming back in all the way through here again as well. So we're looking at like a lot of hills down in this little region. So this is, I guess, where a lot of the fighting, well, as you said before, like most of the fighting took place around these hills.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yeah, all the fighting took place around those hills, and Hill 60 is pretty important. Not so much in this game, but you'll see some different features that we put in from the second campaign forward that really give Hill 60 significance.
Right. Yep. Yep. Sorry, I've just got to go and ban someone from from Twitch chat. Just bear with me, Robert. I'll just be 1 second. There we go. Done. So we get spammers come in occasionally. So if anyone does have any questions, whether you're watching this on YouTube or on Twitch, please ask away, and we can sort of we've got a couple of hours to with Robert, so which is great. So really appreciate again that we got the opportunity to do this. So around hill 60, I mean, if we're having a bit of a look at this one here, we've got hills down through here where the entrenchment goes up around these different areas. By the time we bring infantry in to start to dig in, they can then dig in, I guess, much more than what cavalry can. Would that be correct?
Oh yes, yeah. You see them start to dig in. In this campaign, this particular one, the first one, the ability to entrench is limited for all units.
Yep.
As the war progresses, those tactics and techniques at the unit level increase. Entrenchments get stronger.
Right. And is that a function of the campaign, or is that something that a function of the units, or how is that sort of coded into the actual campaign itself?
Yeah, the base game, the World War I game, has an entrenching ability. So each unit, if it's let's say it's a core size unit, and you're in the big map, and you can build a trench with that. We've just taken that same ability from the base game and used it here in this game, and then changed the levels. The level, it goes up in ability. The capability to entrench better and better increases over time.
Yep. Okay, cool. All right. I'll just move some of the other forces up, and we'll just sort of rattle through the rest of this. So I'm guessing, like, when we have a look at... let's just go back to this cavalry group that we did find again in Armentières. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that particular little town. So they're actually in this town at this point in time. There's a dotted line that sort of extends down through, like from the top all the way down and then back out through here. Is this the old border? Is that like indicating that there's an old border there? I don't know if you can see that one.
Yeah, that right there is between what red dotted line, Belgium and French border.
Right.
And that darker border you see, that's the extent of the German advance.
Yes, so this is actually where the Germans have got to. So this sort of like the line with the little spikes on it, and then the dotted line is the actual is the official. So the Germans are certainly well and truly inside Belgium at this point in time. And I guess when we have a look at these back over here, we've got Ghent and Evergem. These little areas in through here, are these abstracted as if they're supply centres from Germany?
Yes, exactly. It's German territory, so you can control the game a little bit. The game engine requires at least an original country, so it just represents those big supply depots that have moved up from Germany into Belgium to support the advances.
Right. Okay. And I think that's the only ones that they've got. So if you're playing as the Entente, like the British, French, and Belgian forces, then at least you know that a lot of the German reinforcements will be coming from this top corner of the map, I would imagine. That would be my guess. So again, going back to this cavalry unit, where we've got like the Lys River that runs sort of across the top of the actual map through here. So this is a major river, as we can sort of see down in the bottom corner through here when I sort of hover over this river. So it says Lys River, France. It's got, again, entrenchment, movement cost, but there's also an attack cost, isn't there? Like if I can get into these hills here, that unit would have a really hard time attacking, and vice versa, I would imagine. So if I can bring that unit up to control this, I accidentally moved this unit up into here. Not that I can move it up the other way, but in this case, it's a very open attack between these two, so I can move it into the zone of control. So I will just go and do that. So we've got a 3-to-1 there. Is that worth doing at this stage?
No, what that represents is how many casualties.
All right.
The first letter on the left is, or the first number is how many casualties you will take, and not will, might take. There's a probability
Yep.
factor in there. And the one on the right is the enemy. So that one you would be attacking, but you would lose, you would probably lose more than your enemy.
Right. Okay. And then when I've turned off that one, we've then seen that there's another small regiment of cavalry back up this other side. So as we move up, we do move into the zone of control. So we'll move this one up into this particular ridge line. And that one there is going to take one more casualty than me, but it's still probably not really worth doing just yet. So if I bring up some more of these, this one's now giving me a little bit more. If I go back to this one here, it's still the same. Is there any sort of, like having more units around it? I thought you could sort of overwhelm units with by surrounding, but am I getting that one wrong?
No, that's right. The surrounding of a unit affects its supply, so it lowers the morale and supply level of a
Yep.
unit. Another thing, so what you have here is you have a situation where you're hitting the unit on two sides. Now, the first unit, the first British unit or Allied unit that will hit the Germans will, have those odds that you see, and then the second one will have a greater chance of destroying it than what you see.
So if we,
You could actually go ahead and try that.
yeah, so we'll do the 1 to 3, so that they should ideally take three actions, and they're on the wrong side of the river for this attack as well. So we've got a good attack because we're not going across the river.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it will be.
They took 4, I think, in the end.
All right.
So, and then if I come back to here, yeah, we've got 1 extra.
From that other cavalry unit. Yeah.
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit there, Robert, every so often, but quite often it sounds okay, but just it's a little bit broken at different times. So with this one here, so I've got better odds again now, which is exactly what you're then talking about. So it's down to 3,
Yes.
and we took just 1, which is good. Okay, so that little regiment is a bit underdone. We'll just move these up along the roads, and we'll just keep on moving all of these up through here, I guess. And that is everyone moved. So the turns are pretty quick. I guess when you get more and more units, of course, it's going to take longer and longer to actually go and do it. So at this stage, would I just sort of end my turn at this point in time?
Yeah, you would go ahead and end your turn there.
So German forces capture Antwerp after a heavy siege. All right. Is that the Big Bertha guns that they were using on that one?
I believe so.
It's funny how those terminologies like Big Bertha and those sorts of names just stick around and refer to all sorts of
they
things.
do.
Is it golf clubs?
Yeah.
Some golf clubs are called Big Berthas as well now.
Oh, I don't know about golf clubs.
I just vaguely remember I used to play golf many, many years ago, and I think that some people used to call their number one wooded woods the Big Berthas and stuff. But anyway, I may be wrong. Okay, race to the sea. French and British forces halted the German advance and shattered the Scheifele's plan. We've already seen this one, haven't we?
Yeah.
So it's now moving back out of the way because it's now been damaged, and it's moving in closer now. Oh, they're starting to capture.
You can see the AI moving up. They even follow those same tactics that you do, move 1 hex at a time.
Oh, okay. Yep, so they were doing the same thing that we were doing, just rather than sort of just blundering in.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Germans are now right. So this is military activity summary. So in this case, we sort of see the different captures that have actually occurred back in through this other side, where we've been losing a bit of ground. Expected supply improvements. So the rapid manoeuvres of the race to sea strained every supply line. Rail networks were disrupted, depots left behind, and both sides faced shortages of ammunition and food. Columns stretched for miles along roads as armies outpaced their logistics. In time, supply systems caught up. New railheads and forward depots brought regular deliveries to the forces on the line. Expect MPP generation for the Entente to improve as their forces fall back into established supply lines, while German MPP income will lag temporarily as their supply trains struggle to catch up with the rapid advance. So, new units back in through here. So we've got UK units back there and Belgium units in through here again as well. I'll start with the Belgium units, so we'll just go and click on OK. So again, we're only able to keep on pressing WASD, which is not the right thing to do. So I'll go and move them on that side, and then we've got this one as well. Click on OK, can move that one back that way. Then the British forces, let's go click on OK through here again as well. And so we can actually put them in French territory as well. Okay, that's interesting, but I think that for us it would be best to place these closer to the north. So I'm just going to go and place that one there. Oh, hang on, do I have to place it down the bottom there? Yeah, must have to. Okay, Smith Dorian HQ. Alright, so we have to place it there. That's okay. That's alright. Okay, so we've got that one done there. Just going. Now it's still the movement phase, isn't it? So we now need to go through. So Germans are getting very, very close to capturing Lille. So we need to. No, I can't get in there. That's interesting. Now I've got 5 action points. What's actually stopping the action points here?
It's probably the zone of control.
Ah, okay. Well, that's 2. It actually costs 2 this time to move across the actual roads. Would it be weather?
It could be weather instead. Yeah, I see your point. Probably weather. If you click on a hex and you look in the lower left-hand display, you'll see what the weather is.
Yeah, it says clear France, but I think that's just the terrain, isn't it? But I'm not seeing the weather there. Where is there anywhere else where weather is shown?
Not that I know of.
No, that's okay. Yeah, it's sort of funny. Like it's almost like it's slowed down through mud. So they're going to be able to get that location pretty quickly. I'll just move what I can down this way. Move this one up. Now, if I go to there, I can't move into that one. So, oh, and then once I've clicked off it, that's the end of it, isn't it? Move that one up. Yeah, so I can do two damage into here. Okay, we did take some damage there in the end. Yeah, so things have really slowed down. Oh, this is HQ, and it just shows you the units that are the applied to the HQ, isn't it? With those particular ones.
Yes.
No action points down the bottom there. That one can't move. Should be able to move, I thought. Or maybe I already moved it. No action points for these. This one here, now we know that there's more coming down this other side. It's only a little regiment, so I'll keep on moving up with this one, even though it's probably be a good idea to entrench at some stage. And we'll end our turn there. So the turns go pretty fast, you know, like it's not as if you bog down sort of fighting for an extended period. Just say yes, we want to end the turn. Here we go. Now we've got rain.
There we go.
And now we're getting the MPPs and stuff coming through as well. Expected supply improvements. There we go. Yep, we've done that one. And they still haven't captured the town, which is good for me. Oh no, they have now. I'll flick back out so that we can just get back to the interview again, I guess. And we'll just, oops, yeah, there we go. Military activity supplied. So I guess that just sort of shows a bit of the game loop, like a couple of turns of the actual game itself. So, is there anything else you'd like to show in the game before we start to sort of talk about and look at the history side of things?
The one is the production. I don't think we've lost any units. The
Oh, okay.
production at the time, I think also what'll happen is during the game you'll lose units. Those losses that any side has will come back if you use your MPPs. So you could purchase dead units. In other words, in game term or in historical terms, they aren't really dead units. What they are is they're units that have been reinforced and can go back to the front line. You'll see things like a unit that gets wiped out and it comes back because you have enough MPPs. What you're really doing is you're reinforcing that unit and then sending it back to the front line, which was pretty common during this time.
Right, and so we're looking at this as the purchase unit area that we're sort of seeing back through here. So any unit that was destroyed will end up in this particular screen. Is this the way that would then work?
Yeah, on the right, see where it says select units. You'll see it as right now it's in red. It'll appear in white.
Yeah.
That means you can rebuild it.
And the actual like the various names, are these just sort of like generated names that are just there for new units essentially?
Yes, that's different names of different generals
Yep. Okay,
for
cool.
the headquarters.
Other things, I guess, when we have a look at it, if we just go and close that one off, new units, we're not going to. These aren't active just yet. I guess diplomacy doesn't really kick in with this one. I mean, you are just set. It's set in stone, I would imagine.
Yes, it is. Yeah, some of those things we don't include because it doesn't really make sense to in this in an operational level game.
Yep, and then research again. In this case, we're literally talking day by day, aren't we? This is not like
Right.
turns that might last weeks or months.
Right. The main game lasts years, so
Yeah.
it needs those features. But in a smaller operational game, I don't think you need those features.
No. And so then the different reports back through here again just to sort of show like what's actually happening in this instance. So we've got like the different groups up through here. We'll sort of then show. So these different columns that we sort of have through here, capitals. Is this just going through to show how many of the actual larger centres are sort of being shown on the map? So, for example, the British only control one capital as such. The French control 6 or 7. The Belgians only 1. And then the Germans have got like 10 at this stage.
Yes. That's
Yep.
it.
And ports as well. Like the France has got a couple of ports, 3 ports. We're talking about oil and mining as well, which we don't actually need to deal with in this particular game. So, what other reports are there? There's a few, isn't there? Like if we go to losses.
Losses will give you. Yeah, losses will give you. Again, you don't have any losses, so the year will give you a detail. You know how many regiments you lost or how many divisions you lost, and then that's what I was talking about. Yeah, you see it. Yeah.
Just go back there. I was using the scroll wheel. So detailed losses will then go through specifically what numbers are actually have been lost at this stage. So no unit has been destroyed at this point in time. We're seeing digging in over here as well now off the map. So just got a little bit of digging in to sort of show that little cavalry regiment is starting to dig in, which is interesting. So I'll just go and if I scroll down, that's purchase, this is reports. Where'd the next one go? That went back to the world map. Yeah, that's okay. So if I go back to the graphs, this is then showing again mainly. I guess a lot of these at this stage would then be mainly for the main campaign, for the big campaign, like the convoys, raiders, strategic bombing. None of these things really sort of matter that much for what we're playing at the moment. The MPPs will then sort of show what's going on.
Yeah, I was going to say the last two show you morale and income.
Right. So a slight drop there with national morale. And the MPPs backing through this other side. So collected income spent and then lost units. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, that's great. So that's again just this bit of information there for people who are wanting to sort of then play the game. We'll just go back out again. Just bear with me. Right. So back in the screen. So again talking about the. I mean, we've sort of now been got a bit familiar with around the Ypres area, like with the Passchendaele back up through here, of course, very, very famous battle with the British. Hill 60 back into this other side, Messines Ridge down this other side. The Lys River Valley back through here again, major, which was, it's incredible to think that for basically 4 years, the fighting was very, very static along here, but with so much manpower thrown into trying to break these lines. It's just incredible, really. It's really tragic, really, when you think about it. It struck me actually. I guess you in America and me in Australia, we don't have the depth of historical content that you sort of see around these sorts of European towns and stuff like that. And I was recently in the Netherlands, and it was. And actually, it really struck me just how much damage wars can create to something that maybe America, you got a little bit more history than Australia in terms of buildings and things, but just all that destruction of all that, things that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's just find it really, really sad, actually, to see the big cities again now, like Rotterdam, for example. But just you think it was a historic city before World War II, and that's it's I guess for these sorts of things as well, like these little towns. It's anyway. So that's a side thing. So anyway, with the research that you guys were then doing, we're seeing digging in now being done across through here again as well. So the forces. The German forces are starting to dig in these positions. So if we don't move, they'll sort of stay. Sorry, I've got you on the wrong thing.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was trying to.
I was talking about
you two.
I keep on pressing the arrow keys when I do the wrong thing. I press the arrow keys when I'm actually after I've flipped across, and it then goes to the next screen. So and it's only when I look across, I think, I've got the wrong screen open. So my apologies about that. Did you want to go through some of the materials that you do actually have though about the history?
Okay, yeah.
I can then if it's about something on the map, I can then show it on the map, and then we can just go into some detail there.
No, what I wanted to share with people that we tend to get messages from people or a post on a forum or something in Discord, a message on Discord, and they like to know, how do you know this certain thing occurred? I just wanted to share a couple key references that we used for this specific. So I'm going to show first book. This first book, mostly it's an overview of World War II done by a famous author, John Keegan. Although this is the whole war, in this particular book, he's got a lot of information about Ypres spread throughout the book. It gives you overall how things were going in other parts of the war and how things were going in specific spots like Ypres. So that's one of the first ones where we got a lot of really good detail on that.
John Keegan's a very accomplished author too, isn't he, of different wars and things. Like he's actually somebody that is he British, I think?
Yes, he was British. Yeah, he passed away a number of years ago. He taught at I think Sandhurst, one of the British military colleges. He wrote the book. His first famous one was Face a Battle, which really explained, why do soldiers fight?
Yes, yeah. Now I remember like him just coming up as an author that if you're interested in military history, he's one of those authors that you just absolutely need to read. Like as you say, Face a Battle. Was that his first book?
I don't think it was his first book, but I think it was the first one that really made it big.
Right. Yeah. And then those history books that he's done, like of the First World War. Did he do a Second World War one as well? I've read the First World War one.
Yeah, he did. He did the Second World War One. He's done quite a few. He's done what's called what was the leadership one? It had Napoleon, Wellington, Hitler, and Alexander the Great, and he did sort of a study of their different leadership styles.
Wow!
And that was a really good one too.
Yeah, because like as you say, like he's got the actual. He's not just an author. He does actually have the knowledge from, as you said before, about being able like as a lecturer at these military colleges and things like that, and I guess the speaking tours and stuff that he would have done as well over the years. But I do remember like him being sort of right up there in terms of the sort of must read type things. Is there something else you wanted? Is there any other sort of references that you wanted to then sort of maybe talk a little bit about, like when we are talking about these very very defined areas?
Yeah, I wanted to show one other book. This is actual maps that were put together by the British staff in London after the war. They compiled these different maps, and it's about all the operations in France and Belgium from 1914 to 1918. It even has some of the occupation information from 1915. But this book really allowed us to get into detail, look at the orders of battle, what units were present at a certain point in time, where were the front lines given a certain point in time, and it really helped us rate the map that you
How
see
thick is that
and
book,
the
Rob?
units that you're controlling.
That looks like an amazing book. I've never heard of that one before. How thick is that one? Is it got like
Yeah,
wow, that's a lot.
yeah. It has a bunch of different maps in it. You can see the maps to see if I turn this the right way or the wrong way. It's upside down. There you go.
And so you got little
This is
reference
showing
marks there from when you're doing your
yeah,
own research for these scenarios, eh?
yeah, yeah. You can see it. There's different dates on those, and so you can see the units coming and going. You see the different colors. The Germans are in the green. The Ally or the Entente is in the dark, the black. Yeah,
It,
you can see the city. You can see the front lines.
and so what sort of time difference is there between each map? Like is the book full of maps or is it just like
Oh
a
yeah, yeah. It's literally any page I go to here, you're going to see a map.
wow,
Any page I go to, you know.
that's amazing. Wow, and so these are reproductions of the maps that were then generated for the for the war.
Yeah, they were British Army maps that were compiled, I think, from 1924 to 1930.
Gee, yeah, that's incredible. So Graven is actually asking the question: is this out? As in, I'm guessing you mean the DLC. It's coming out on the 14th of July. So we're talking
That's
about
right.
3 or 4 days away. So it's very, very soon. I think if you go to Steam, in fact, what I'll do is I'll just go across to and see if I can actually bring it up. Where are we? So yeah, on the Steam page, like if you just go and do a search for Strategic Command World War One, you'll then go to the base game, which, as I said before, rates very, very positively, 91%, which is really unusual for a war game. Like war games don't often rate anywhere near that sort of level. And and then as you sort of have a bit of a look down, you'll then sort of see that these prices, by the way, are Australian dollars, so they're not US dollars or euros or anything. So it's always a bit more in Australia than anywhere else. So the actual, it's coming soon. It says on this one that it's coming the 15th of July. That's in Australia, but everywhere else is going to get it on the 14th essentially. So the 14th of July is what's coming up. Can you wish list it? I'm not sure if you can. Oh yeah, there you go. You can actually wish list the game as well. So in 3 days time is when that will come. So it's not far away at all with this particular one. But again, I guess we might even have a look at some of these because these give at least a bit of a so you can get a bit of a feel then for the more units as you sort of go through element by element. I'll just go and actually share these here. So again, you'll sort of see that there's a lot more sort of detail. You can see there the trench lines as well, sort of like these little sort of squarish borders that sort of run in between everything as well. Again, you can see the different forces coming back through here, different entrenchments. It really is quite different to the fluidity of the game that we've got, like that we sort of started to play, which is quite interesting in through here again as well. That's just with the same map, I think, with the units turned off, just so you can see what's going on. Wow, look at the difference in the actual terrain with all of with all of these entrenchments and things going on. And there's the airfields you're talking about, Robert.
Yes, yeah. You'll start to see those appear in later campaigns.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. So these are all the small airfields like the Biggles and those guys would have been flying from to check out
Yeah.
the top. So the map really doesn't change, like in terms of the border. It really is static, isn't it, for such a long period of time?
Yeah, it really is a good microcosm of the entire war in the West.
Yeah, yep, yep. Interesting, very interesting. If we started a game like this, if let's just go and say if we do the fourth battle, like I might even do that actually, just so we can see what it looks like at the start. You might be able to then point out a few sort of differences. There's the NATO symbols, but yeah, that's pretty cool actually. So we'll just go back in and just put out that one through there. So yeah, that's coming in 3 days' time. This will be then launched. We'll go back across into this one and through here, and I'll just quit back out. So I always do that one. Just need to go back up to here, quit. So this is very, very fluid, as you sort of said before here, where you're just making the sort of rapid movements. If we go into the, let's just do the fourth battle. Actually, we do Passchendaele. That was the third, wasn't it? So if we go and play at Passchendaele, was there any reason why you didn't use the word Passchendaele in the name?
No. Yeah, there was. I just wanted to keep the first, second, third, fourth, fifth Ypres in there.
Yep.
And what I did is I mentioned them in the description.
Right. Okay. Yep. Yep. So I'm guessing if people are like people may be familiar with Passchendaele but not Ypres, so I guess at least we've covered that now as well. So if we go and play this campaign, this will be more complex, I would guess. So I'll leave these.
Yeah, here the British. Yeah, here the British are on the offensive. So you could see, you'll see that as we go forward. And so the first person or the first side on this turn is the taunt with the British mast in the center, ready to push.
So I just have to blow my nose. So okay, so in the 2 years that followed the Second Battle of Ypres in the spring of 1915, the front around Ypres settled into an uneasy stalemate, a flood of landscapes. Actually, let's just quit past this one, but so we can just sort of see what's going on. There we go, Portugal in the war. Not that it affects us, does it, all that much? The technological advancements. All right, so we're now starting to sort of see different things coming through, I guess. So the actual some of these are quite long campaigns, aren't they? The actual, like with what we're seeing through here. Now this one again has got the NATO symbols. I'll just go back and do that. There's we're not seeing the bases, which I'm sort of trying to get to a position where we ended up looking like this, and I'm not sure how to do that. Not sure if that's so. Again, this is not the release version of the game just yet. So I'm not sure how we change it so that we can see these. It may be a little bit confusing to sort of like. It may be better to look at the NATO counters in this case, just so to make sense of the scale rather than actually using the other. If we just go back into here again, it's been hard to see the bases. I'm not sure. Is there a setting for the bases to turn them on or off?
Yes, there is. I think you go back to that setting, and would be see under the land country counter styles, and you just click those. You should be able to see them.
So if I click on OK there.
Yeah, and then I think what's happening, one reason we're seeing the differences is, are you using the Blue Max mod on this?
Oh, I might be. Ah, yes.
Yeah, that might be. It's a great modification. Really nice icons, but it gives the game a different feel and look.
Oh, Robert, I'm so sorry. We've been looking at this with that probably as a parameter. Actually,
As a default.
Just let me go through and just see if I can actually turn that off. Yeah, I think you're right. I am. It's a great mod, as you say. Like it's. I don't know if I can turn it off here. Do I need to do that is there a mods area in the actual game? Just let me quit back out. So if I go to settings,
Once you open the game myself and see exactly where I need to do that. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Now, And this is probably going to fix up all of those things that we were looking at before. Let's go back
You
again
get it, Artie?
to Passchendaele. So you can get rid of that note, I think, about there being problems.
Well, I will. Yeah, I will definitely double check on all that stuff.
This is completely different now. This is completely different. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It would be the terrain changes and everything.
Yeah. And my apologies about that. I really like that mod, so I didn't realize that it was actually on. I thought it was. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, the game has a thing where it carries your preferences from game to game whenever you start. Like if you start with Fog of War off, it'll keep Fog of War off until you toggle it back on.
This is much clearer. This is much clearer.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a supply. I've just getting all of these. I've clicking on the wrong things here. So yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that's quite funny.
That's good. I mean, maybe other users have the base World War game and have used the Blue Backs mod. Now they know how to change it back.
Yes, yeah, because it's one of the most recommended mods for the game, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
It's sort of, as you said before, it does change. The terrain is completely different as well. So we've sort of been looking at the quite a different sort of layout through here. Excuse me. So we're sort of seeing now the entrenchments, the wire, everything sort of entrenched in around the actual front line itself. So again, quite a different game than what we were sort of seeing before. Even the headquarters are now much more pronounced with what we're sort of seeing back and through this other side. Things where they can sort of now move up into zones of control. So I'm guessing with this one here, there's your airplanes as well, where they can start to go off and do different things. So the various different groups, the French aircraft back at that stage as well. It's very, very cool. So I'll just go back out again actually and just see if we can open up the first one that we were playing, just to see the difference with that one as well. So we'll just go straight in. So you can play as Germany as well, like you can actually play it. Let's just try let's see it from the German side, I guess. The same one we were looking at through there. Yeah, so by turning off that mod, all of these now are sort of showing the way that they should actually come up.
You'll see the artificial intelligence will start this game. So as you click through your briefs, you'll start to see the Germans.
Okay, yep. So the Entente go first.
Oh, this one is the Allied. Yeah, you chose the first. Yeah, so you'll see the Allies move up. Pretty much do the same movements that you did. Yeah.
Yes, they didn't attack twice though. That particular one. We've got race to sea. Yep,
Yeah.
in through here we go. Yeah, so this looks it looks a lot better actually, doesn't it? The actual base game version looks very, very good. Excuse me. So I've just got to go and place these around. Just go and quickly sort of put these on the map. All right, there we go. So in this case, we don't have any MPP at this early stage of the war, so that's for moving along the rail lines and things, I think, isn't it? With what we need to be sort of be doing. So in this case, with this one here, we can sort of now see the bottom of the counters a lot more clearly. We can see the actual headquarters very, very clearly. We're seeing things, for example, like the fields, which we weren't seeing in the when that mod was turned on. It was all just sort of there's the Hill 60 again, the Messines Ridge back and through this other side again as well, Passchendaele back up through here. So we're starting to now sort of see all the different bits and pieces. That's that group that we sort of saw in through there again as well. And so if I start to sort of just move up, if I'm not seeing, there we go, I've taken the hill. We'll take that. Anyway, I won't keep on playing, but that is pretty good. Now this one here, we've got a like another small regiment. I could almost ignore that one, I would think, and just go for the important locations further back up this way. Oh wow, we got it. Does that mean we win? We just got Ypres.
Yeah, yeah. You won.
Yeah. Let's leave it there while we're ahead. So talking about the history again, I mean, I'll just go back to the other screen again. So with the so when you were doing research, like just how far out did you actually need to research things, like in terms of I guess geography, but also in terms of technology? Like, did you have to really know what troops may have been available, like back from that may have gone further south, or or did you only use the historical troops, like because there was other battles, of course, or other fronts developing along the long front?
Yeah. We actually, in this campaign, were able to keep it pretty historical. I'd say 90% of the units that you're going to see in this game were actually there. When you go to the later games, you actually start seeing, in fact, the last game has American units. Those American units were deployed Flanders, but they never got into any heavy combat. But we included them just as a historical reference.
Right. Okay. Now I've got a question from YouTube. This is from the Rezenquiz. I'll probably have pronounced that one incorrectly as well. But Gallipoli campaign when? So wondering.
In the base campaign, in the base game, I wonder if we have that. There's a bunch of small ones. Hold on, let me go. I'm going to open up World War One and see if that's in there. Really, take maybe just a minute. And there are a game that have been added with the last DLC. The main one was Russian Civil War, but there were a number of small ones. I think one was Mesopotamia, and another was Palestine. Let me just take a real quick look here, and let's see what else I got. I wonder if we used to have Gallipoli in version 2, which was many, many years ago.
Okay.
But no, we don't have that for this current Strategic Command 3. We have Disaster in Mesopotamia. We have Lion of Africa, which is one of my favorites. Is about the German general in Africa that avoided the British for so many years. The big push, big attack on the Western Front, the Balkan League, the Broken League, different things that happened just before the war. And then there's Shadow of the Tsars, which is the Russian Civil War.
So we
don't have the Gallipoli one.
Would that just be a single campaign if that was ever brought back in? Would that be almost like a mod type thing, or is that something if that was going to be brought in? I mean, it's a good question, I thought, actually. Like it's Mesopotamia is, we're talking about the charge up from the south, isn't it? This is sort of more to do with like if I just go and play this. So this is part of the Empire in Turmoil DLC. So this is actually not what we sort of see through here. So this is now the Central Powers. Just click on OK. Have a quick look and see what we see in through here. Yeah,
this is an interesting one. This is where you got a British unit that's surrounded, and there's a relieving force coming in. Again, operational level, small scaler.
Oh, that's right. This is towards Baghdad, isn't it?
Yeah, this is in Iraq.
Yeah. Okay. No, so I guess with the question about there being something with Gallipoli, I mean, it would be too narrow an area to actually just do an actual full DLC about Gallipoli, wouldn't it? Like there wouldn't be enough going on there.
If I were to create something like that, I would probably call it. I'd have different campaigns that were outside of Europe. So I'd include things like the ones in Africa, the ones in the Middle East, Palestine, and Iraq. Gallipoli would be a good one. And there might be a couple other things I could look into, research, and that would give us some inspiration to try something else in the future. But that's the great thing with this series, is it has so much possibility in the future.
Yes, yeah.
Not only us and our team, but our community of modders is huge. And if you go up onto some of the forums, you can download individual scenarios that they've created and run through those.
The other thing too, I guess I'll go and have a look at that, and we'll maybe have a bit of an explore of that now. But you've also got like hot seat, which I think is great, so you can actually play it like locally with somebody else, play by email and online, so you can actually sort of then just sort of share the maps between players. And then you've got loading, of course, with these different bits and pieces in here. But if I just quit out for 1 second, and now there's no, if I go to the community hub and through here, you don't get your mods through Steam, do you? There's no workshop as such there. So it would be the
It's Matrix.
Matrix forums. Yep. So if you are interested, if you guys out there are interested in anything to do with wargaming, the matrixgames.com/forums with an S is an incredible site. So this has got this has been, like, you can see there, like, even 21,000 different posts, for example, in just general discussion. But these are really, really good, like really, really good resources. So I'll just go and zoom it up a little bit. Actually, I can do it this way a little bit. So just zoom in so we can sort of start to see it. Maybe that might be a bit clearer on the screen. If we go down to the Strategic Command series, so 11,300 odd sort of different topics with nearly 100 or over 100,000 posts. So if we go into the Strategic Command series, and we've got Strategic Command World War One. In terms of the mods, they would be inside there, wouldn't they?
Yeah, there's as you go down there, as you go down in each, like go down, look, see the third one down says mods and scenarios.
Yes. Yep.
Here you go. Right there, that's where people in the community usually place their mods. And then you go in there, there's usually, they use Google Drive, I think. A lot of them use Google Drive, so you just download the files from there. There's a link inside one of those posts that'll tell you.
And I guess to get a bit of a feel as to how how good a mod is, you can look at like 40,000 people have comment, or that's views, sorry, but that's a lot of people actually looking at this particular one with a lot of interaction. The Icarus mod in through here,
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Icarus mod designed.
It's just another modder that has come out with his own, titled it with his name, Icarus, and all these different ones that they go into detail. There's the
Yeah.
the things they've changed, things they've kept. Some people go as even far like the Blue Max mod, create different graphics.
Yes.
They'll go
Yeah.
into the scripts and change the scripts. So it's people really enjoy modding.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's interesting actually. It's sort of one of those things where there's if I go back, sorry, I'll just go back in and have another quick look at this. So there's a lot of different things in through here. I'm just going to see if I can just quickly see if there is anything to do with that stands out that would actually cover something like the Gallipoli campaign. There's a lot of stuff in here, isn't there? Really,
Yes, there is.
there's a hell of a lot, which is great. This really does sort of show again just the I guess how much people enjoy the game, to be sort of building mods like this. The first bit of it's just general announcements and stuff, but yeah, the Icarus mod gets mentioned a lot here actually. So there's different feedback on it. Yeah, version 5, Italian inversion.
ERP is another one. That's a big one right above it. Yeah, there's the invasion of. Hey, you see, you can go and do anything you want. The 1895 invasion of Italy. There's one a little bit lower about the 1920 Poland and Soviets fighting. Yeah, it's whatever you can research and look at, it's there.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And it's I think also because it's a community where there's a lot of sort of chatting in the forums as well. There's a lot of feedback that comes back through as well. But yeah, which is great. Again, the Matrix forum is just an incredible resource. It's I'll just see if I can see it there. Is it 1L? I think it is. There we go. So there is a Gallipoli decision event in the Icarus mod.
Yeah, I think the Icarus mod is a modification of the general general game, and it has a Gallipoli decision in there. The British are given the choice to invade Gallipoli or not.
It does mention Gallipoli campaign in there. That may be that may be a good choice if someone's looking for. Oh, there we go. So these are the Icarus mods. Ottoman Empire modifications. Yeah, I'm not sure. That may just be. It looks like that may just be to do with the Ottoman Empire rather than rather than it being a playable campaign. Yeah, it looks like it's like, as you said before, it's maybe just a major sort of World War campaign across the whole lot, I guess. Interesting though. That's interesting. So that's the Matrix forums, guys. If you are interested, there's just a hell of a lot of stuff, of course, in through here with any of the Matrix games. By the way, they're all very, very well supported. But there's a hell of a lot in here. And see the Blue Max mod. Where's that? I wonder. I'll just go back out because that is a great mod as well. So I can find it. I'm surprised it didn't sort of show up. It's not actually coming up, is it? It's been a
Coming up in the text.
Yeah, but not the actual. It's not called.
Yeah.
This one here is fairly old. Yeah, how to install the Bluemax mod. Yeah, so not sure if that's maybe you install that one somewhere else. This one here is for Bluemax. Again, this is fairly old, this particular one, but there may be other versions of it. You download the mod. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'm sorry that I had that turned on. I didn't realise that it was actually turned on all that time.
No, I thought you did it on purpose.
No, I didn't. It was completely my mistake. So all of that sort of feedback is like about the NATO mod not working. Of course, it should be for the Bluemax mod, not for the game. Anyway, that's
there may be some bleed over. We'll take a look at those things that we saw. It won't take me too long.
Yeah, well, it's working. It's working perfectly when you have that mod turned off. It's the first thing, isn't it? Really, that you should check when there's something not quite working. If you've got any mods installed. Now, in terms of, did you want to talk more about the history? I might just get the game set up again and just get it sort of flying in there.
Yeah, I think it'd be, let me go back to the references first. Though there was a bunch of references online, electronic books. I'm just
sorry, your sound is gone, Robert. Your sound is completely gone.
Okay.
No, still can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Just maybe try talking again now.
Hey, dude, how you doing, Das? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
The others hearing you?
I
think it may be on my side of things.
Okay.
Just quit out again.
Okay. I'm looking at my
now I can hear you.
Input level. Okay, good. I'm back.
Yeah.
All right. So I was just mentioning a couple different references. We're starting to use artificial intelligence a little bit more, and for translation purposes.
Yep.
And we're able to get into libraries and archives that we've never been to. And there was two particular. There was a Der Wiltskrieg and a Les Armées Françaises de la Grande Guerre. Pardon me for those translations, but they're French and German sources that were created near the end of the war or a little bit after the war that really give you some more detail. And I was able to use those, translate some of those French or German into English, and then take that material and really use it in the game. So there's so much more we're probably going to be able to do in future years. But let me talk more about the rest of the campaign itself and some kind of like how many things used, have brought into it, Like I said, the weather plays an important part. We talked about the technology and tactics, how those change over time. I talked about some of the units like the cavalry. I want to talk a little bit about the artillery. Artillery, the technology progresses, and as you play the game, you will start to see artillery more and more powerful. You'll also start to see artillery use counter battery fire, automatic. So if you're a human player and you attack a German unit, for example, the German artillery that's run by the AI will counterattack or counter battery fire on that artillery unit, which is kind of interesting. So as you progress throughout the game, you start to see different uses for artillery, and there almost becomes an artillery versus artillery war within the larger campaign that needs to be fought. That's true for aviation also. The first aircraft that are introduced are reconnaissance. Those start to pair with artillery. An air unit will go through, reveal on the map where enemy units were, and then your artillery can target those units behind the lines, which is pretty how it develops. The tanks come in. The tanks, we model those. They're strong on the attack, but then they don't have any sustainment, so they tend to give out. So, like Passchendaele starts with tanks, but then you'll start to see those tank units slowly wither away, and the British infantry have to take the brunt of the assault.
And so with those, with what you're sort of mentioning there about, like, there's a lot of technologies that came in around, like throughout the actual Ypres campaign, wasn't there? Really, like you mentioned about the poison gas. You just mentioned tanks. Wasn't Passchendaele the first use of tanks in the war?
I think it was. I think
And
it was.
I sort of read somewhere that the flamethrower was also used first at Ypres at one point.
Oh, was it? Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's sort of, I've read that somewhere. I was just trying to think of all these little things that again, I may be wrong about that. Now, there's actually Derner on YouTube is actually asking, are small unit tactics treated as infantry tech?
Yes, yes. So you'll see that you have infantry tech in there, and you'll see that infantry weapons and if infantry, I think it's called, let me pull it up real quick. It's called, there's two different infantry that improve throughout the game. Warfare, tanks, and aircraft infantry. Yeah, infantry weapons and infantry tactics are the two things that change. One is the development of doctrine and tactics that a certain nation has starts to improve. In fact, the game starts with the British having a little bit better of that. And then the other is the weapons, the machine guns. They start to bring in machine guns, trench mortars, and different sorts of weapons that improve the capability of a unit. So that's reflected in this, both those.
And so with those infantry techs in that sort of instance, you mentioned before about the use of shock troops that the Germans introduced. So I guess that would be an example of exactly what you're talking about, both doctrine and equipment.
Yeah, so those units will have a lot of equipment. They'll have advanced doctrine, but they'll also have more experience than regular units because of their higher level of training. That's sort of a third dimension.
Is there one of those? If we opened up one of those and played as the Germans, is there any of those sort of shock troops that we could sort of see straight away, like in one of these?
Oh yeah. They we actually look. First, let me tell you, it's probably look at the fourth Ypres. That's
Yep.
where the Germans launched an attack in 1918, and they have developed those stormtrooper tactics. Now, usually, and this came from Bill. Bill was, very key on giving me advice on this. He was telling me about how not only German but also British units were specially trained. These weren't really specialized units, like they weren't like Marines you might expect to have a different organization. These are regular Army units that were specially trained so that they look the same. But from there, if you go down a little bit to where the attack of the Germans took place, you'll see a little thicker. Yeah, see that where you start seeing more German units on the line.
Oh yeah,
Um,
right at the very
if you,
very
if,
bottom.
yeah, those are where the shock troops are concentrated. You'll see units that have better experience ratings,
So
and they have. Mhm.
so we're looking at the experience is shown here, isn't it, with these 5 squares? So if we have a look, that's a
Right.
green troop. That's a green troop, but we should see others. Maybe front line. Yeah, so we're just looking at the. I haven't seen anything above just one
Yeah.
cross at this stage.
Hmm.
Is that so? Is
Yeah.
that
Those you.
sorry?
That's normal. Yeah, it's like there is you you wouldn't see a big change. Any experience points are very valuable in the game because units have high turnover rates. So to keep experienced troops in the line is kind of hard. So the way it's designed is experience gives you a lot of more power, let's say, in an attack, even a small amount like that.
Yeah, yeah. So when we're looking at these, we've got like a line that runs through from here across these three units, which have got more strength and have
Yeah.
got and more experience, just slightly more experience than the troops around it. So if we have a look at this troop here, for example, it's only half the experience of these more super troops. So these would be the shock troops, then I would imagine. These
Yes,
groups of
there.
three back in through there again as well. So so that would be the that would be the way that they would be then represented. There's another one there, for example, again as well, with everything else around it. When in fact that one's got no experience. So we've got actually that's another thing too. One of the battles actually had Germany brought a whole lot of students in to actually fight, wasn't it? That was fairly early on, I think.
Yeah, that was the 1914 scenario. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and they just were like lambs to the slaughter, I think. In
Yeah,
what
I think that the newest version, I read the book All Quiet on the Western Front, and I can't remember if they talked about the students, but it definitely that latest movie, that Netflix movie, is about the students.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know that one. I'll have to have a look at that one today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a great one. It actually shows the students in school, and they're all motivated to go to the front. And once they get to the front, everything changes.
Wow. What's that movie called? I'll
Uh, All Quiet on the Western
Oh, it
Front.
is All Quiet on the Western Front. Okay, I didn't realise that came out as a movie. I thought it came out
Yeah,
many years ago, but I didn't realise it was.
it
Uh,
did. It's just a remake.
and there's still the flooding that we sort of see in the top. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, wow.
stayed there the whole war.
So let's just say we're playing this scenario, and we're playing as Germans, and the Germans are the ones that have to actually try to break through. How do you go about approaching this? Because they're all the way along. There's you're getting very very weak. Like you really don't have
So
a
go
real lot.
down. Yeah, right there. Let's start right there. Now, if you look at the units that are directly across from the British line, you'll see some green ones. Those are the Portuguese. They were a little bit weaker than the British units that are on their flanks.
Yeah,
So
8 out of 10 strength.
The Germans decided to concentrate their forces there. So what you would first do is you would click on those artillery units that are just behind the front line,
Yep.
and you would then attack those green units, those Portuguese units, and just keep hitting them till they reduce. And then you'll start to see them reduce, and then after they're reduced enough, you hit them with the infantry.
And does that affect their readiness? Is that what actually gets
Yes.
impacted? So
It
their
affects their
readiness is down to
readiness, their morale, their strength, yeah, everything.
so all of these. Yeah, this is super heavy artillery in through here, for example. If we
Yeah,
have a
and
look at this.
each artillery can attack multiple times depending on its ammunition level. And you can
Oh,
just
okay.
just keep hitting you just keep hitting these units until they're weak, and then you move in with the infantry. Just like it was in the war where you had artillery barrages that would advance in front of the infantry moving forward.
Yeah, so we've already got knocked that one down to 3 strength and 2 strength now. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this
And
is the,
yeah, then you can start to see if you start looking at your front line units, your infantry units, you'll start to see that now that unit will take more damage. That enemy unit, that Portuguese unit will take more damage when you attack them. There it's wiped out. Now you can actually do a breakthrough and yeah, move that forward and see if any other units will move up and around. There, that's the surprise setup of the second line, where you actually see now. So you can start concentrating artillery fire against that second line, and start advancing your forces to there. So that's kind of like the game. It's just like it happened in history. Make a little bit of advance, run into the second line. Historically, the Germans actually broke through, I think, the first 3 lines and made it into, I think, open country.
oh, okay. So yeah, so this, and then we would try again.
There's
Defensive.
the
There you
counter
go.
battery fire.
There's your defensive
Yeah,
artillery.
yeah.
But we're through. And so now I can
Yeah, look
actually,
how far you can advance.
yeah, so I can
Go
break
for
through
it.
out.
Go, go. There you go. You've broken the line.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's good. Oh, there we go. And then when we let go, we can start to see headquarter units and all sorts of things.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You start to
Okay.
see the rear area units.
Okay, so that's the easy way to play this scenario then.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
Robert. That's
Each scenario, yeah, each scenario is set up historically. So if you know a little bit of history, you can know how to take advantage of that first couple turns.
yes, yeah. And so yeah, again, like I wasn't looking at these slightly different shaded units, and I wasn't looking at the strengths. Yeah, that's very very good. And so all the way along here, we're looking at very very consistent forces. Like that's all the Belgian forces back through there. Yeah, then the British forces. Interesting. That's really really interesting. It's
Yeah,
it puts a different complexion on it just being a line, doesn't it? Really, like it does sort of show
yeah,
that there is a weakness that you can exploit, and then I guess you then
yeah,
sort of start to bring other units back up. So this one can sort of start to break through itself without even
yeah,
attacking. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, I really like that. Actually, that's I didn't realize you could actually keep on firing with the artillery like that. Just
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, the artillery the it's really great what the developer did. Hubert, he created ammunition levels. So depending upon how your logistics is, you're going to have more artillery rounds, which really makes sense because if you can't shoot, you're not going to affect anybody.
yes, yeah, yep. Oh, that's great. It's that's yeah, just that's really quite interesting. Yeah, just they've got all this artillery, as you said before, sort of helping out.
Yeah, and I think you could probably reach that artillery unit, that British artillery unit, with other German artillery units that are along the lines, and that would just be a way for you to kind of reduce their effectiveness. And usually you find that, you find if you hit the enemy artillery that's firing at your units, you weaken them, or they try to shoot back at you. So it becomes this, like I was saying, game within a game where you have an artillery battle within the larger Ypres campaign.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is yeah, it's quite interesting actually. Just the is what you can do there. So we've sort of now opened up this flank here a little bit. Bring forces up. Yeah, this is great. Wow. There we go. The breakthrough has been made.
You've done it.
Falkenhayn would be very very proud.
Oh yes, you're one of his best colonels.
And so the game, of course, then has got like multiple fallback positions and things like this as well. So we have to then
Yes.
break through one, get to the next one, and keep on sort of trying to break through in this sort of scenario.
Yeah, and the artificial intelligence does a good job of recognizing where's the best defensive position. So it'll set up, it'll fall back, and it'll start setting up, and it'll also leave units behind as delaying units. Very, very nice what the artificial intelligence can do.
Yes, yeah, yeah. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, it's quite different, isn't it? Really, even though it's the same area that we're sort of looking at, it really is quite a different feel about each actual scenario. Like that, the first one compared to this one here, for example, it is as I said before, like even the differences. So the differences in doctrine and stuff, we don't get to see that as such, do we? Like there's no research we can actually have a look at. Purchase wise, there's a few that we can now sort of access.
Yeah.
Do these represent
Yeah,
units that? Yeah, were these actually destroyed like before we started the game? Is that how that would then work?
sometimes they are destroyed. In this particular campaign, I put a few extra units in there to give them some play balance and flexibility. So
Yep.
you now have a sort of a dilemma, a decision to make. Am I going to reinforce the units that are already on the map, or am I going to bring new units on the map?
Right. Yep. Yep. And so we've got like fighters, recon bombers, and ground attack bombers in through there again as well.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks great. This looks really, really cool. That's interesting. Even the heights of the aircraft with the shadows looks a bit different.
Yeah.
So yeah, just funny. That's good.
Artists have really done a good job.
Yes, yeah, no, it's good. That's really nice. So, and again, you've got all this other detail as well. Like, so if we have, for example, a look at the regiments. So it doesn't matter what name we actually then choose. That's not going to affect the actual regiment itself. So we've got the general aspects in through here. Now, the attack values and defense values, do they change as the technology changes, or do you just sort of have like a baseline for the scenario?
Yeah, they'll change as the technology changes.
So if we opened up the I don't know if we can see these. Oh, yeah, we can actually. So we could go back and look at the regiment, for example, and look at the attack values like soft and defense values 7-6, for example, for a regiment, a standard regiment. This would then change between the first and this one, or
Yes, it does.
is there?
Yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it in two ways. We for this campaign we did two different things. We changed the base numbers in each campaign for the infantry, and then we added the technology. And I think I can't see this really. You see on the
Oh, sorry.
is there a is there a technology with a parenthesis on it? No, there isn't there.
I can go to other
Go
things.
to go to the artillery units. And no, it doesn't have it there either. Okay.
There's
Oh,
one.
there it is right there. There one. So there you see it improved. The technology is improved. It gives you a question mark because you're. Is that a question mark?
No,
Or
it's
seven?
number 7 in square
Okay, it's a
brackets.
seven. Yeah, that means it's a seven now. The base was four, and it's a seven now. It can hold up to 7 unit or 7 shells.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's one way so you see those two different ways as you go through the campaigns. You'll see both those, the base number and the one in the parenthesis change.
Oh, okay. So if we go back to the first campaign, like again, we'll just go back out again, go to single player, and just go back to the first battle of Ypres. I'll play as Germany again, just so we're looking at the similar sorts of things. Just have to place the units, but then that will be okay.
You can hit cancel if you don't want to do that, go through that.
Oh, okay. You're right. We'll do that. So with the actual units themselves, if we go back to purchase again, so if we have a look at the so we had field artillery. So so it's just 4 in this case. And if we go
Yeah.
back to the regiment, yeah, look at that. Wow, it's completely different. The actual
Yeah.
attack values are very, very different.
Yeah.
Like, it was 7-6 before. So
Yeah.
that sort of is then abstracting all those other different aspects about it, I guess.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it shows all the different improvements that each country made throughout the war.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. That's a lot, isn't it? That's going on there. And even the model here changes, I think, doesn't it? Like it's
Yeah, the model. Yeah, those are the first uniforms they went in the war with, and then it changes later.
yeah,
Helmets
yep.
change. Yeah, the art stays. That's one of the reasons why if you have, I know the NATO symbols are fun, but also knowing what the units look like are kind of neat also.
Yes, yeah. No, that's really, really good. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that's really, really interesting actually. Then we've got the cavalry, different cavalry regiments in there again as well. This is a nice way to be able to get a bit of a base feel about how your units will perform against other types of units as you see them on the map as well, I guess. I
Yes.
mean, you can't change, just look at the other side, but I'm guessing you would assume that they're about the same in terms of their
Yeah, they are.
firepower.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. That's really, really interesting. And then when we were looking at the other one, it had the super heavy, was it? The like it had a different style
Yeah.
of artillery.
Yeah, and you can see the super heavy wasn't on the first scenario. It comes in later scenarios, so it's
Yeah,
not even on here.
and all the aircraft as well. The different types of
Yeah, the
aircraft.
aircraft are good. Yeah, good point. Yeah, no aircraft. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting actually. That's really cool. Well, we're running out of time actually, Robert. So I guess if
Oh,
Is there anything else that we should cover with the game before we?
The only thing I got to say is the one battle, Messines Ridge, it's also an operational level, but it's a little bit smaller in scale, so you can show just that Messines Ridge salient. So that will be the only one that has a different map to it. But that really gave us a chance to really, recreate that battle, including the mines that were planted by the British.
Oh,
I think they
okay.
were called diggers.
Yeah, they're the Australians, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, yeah. That was a movie that
And there
came
you
out a
go.
few years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. Oh, wow. So we're actually now looking at a completely different scale.
Yeah, you're seeing the mines go off. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Yes, because they were digging right underneath, like a long, long way.
Yeah.
So they're still exploding all the way down along the line.
Yeah. It's going on down off the map. Yeah. Or on the lower part of the map. And then, oh, that's good. You're playing German side, so you're going to see how the British advanced. It should go on for a little bit because it's a lot of units.
Oh, right. Yep, yep. It's interesting to that scale, though. It's sort of, yeah, it is. There's we got interceptors and all sorts of different stuff. So the Germans are intercepting, coming back. Is that the way that that's working? Yeah, it is.
Yes. Yeah, it is. The Germans are intercepting some of those Allied units. You'll have like a reconnaissance unit fly out a mission. It'll be intercepted, and then an escort will help that reconnaissance unit. Yeah, it's quite true to what you might expect the war looked like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's interesting. Actually, again, just how different this sort of scale works. So this I guess there's a lot that it has to go through to actually get past this part. Yeah, that we get
Right.
shattered.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You'll go for a few minutes here because it's the initial bombardment, which is going to be pretty extensive because the British have a lot of artillery shells, and then once you go through all the artillery shells and the aircraft, then you have the infantry advancing, and there's quite a few infantry units for the British, so they'll have a lot of penetration after you see that, but it'll go on for a few more minutes.
Right. Okay. Have you got time to sit back and we'll just watch what the British do?
Sure. Yeah, it'd be exciting. See how we see the picture, where it'll end up. Um, yeah, it's
So this is what we're looking at here is probably what would it be fair to say that this is maybe like on the other maps this would be maybe sort of like 6 hexes in like 6 of those hexes would be this whole
yeah.
map.
It probably more like we'll see the big map is 1.1 miles per hex. This one is 3 point no excuse me 0.34 if I
Oh,
remember
okay.
correctly.
Yep.
I'm gonna look at it so I'm near the right one.
Right.
Yeah, 0.34. 1.1 to 0.34. So the big one is 3 times the size.
Right.
So it's probably
Okay.
around 6 X's, 5 or 6 X's. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Gosh, it's still going.
Oh yeah. It's if you're the German, you're just watching your units just get decimated, which is true to history.
Yeah. Yep.
They had to contend with the mines, they had to contend with the artillery, and then a lot of the initial units over the top were Australian units, so they were very experienced troops. So they had to deal with that too. And I
Yes.
think the Germans didn't expect this, so some of the German units were kind of weak already.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the weather in this one will also take place like it does in Passchendaele, where you start to see the mud come up, so it starts to slow down the Germans.
Yep.
The Germans have a good advantage in this because in their response to this initial breakthrough, they move units pretty quickly. Their command is pretty efficient in moving reserves up to the front. So the British will start to advance, and then they get jolted. There's another group of Germans, waiting for them, and they ambush them pretty effectively.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yep.
the British then bring up their artillery, more units, You start to see the New Zealand troops arrive,
Oh yes, yep.
and and they break through.
So if you play as the Entente, how many different groups are you playing? Are all of those Commonwealth forces just under one banner?
Yes, all the Commonwealth forces are under the UK, but the units themselves look a little bit different
Right. Okay.
when you look
Yep.
at the graph. Yeah, yeah. You even have Indian units there too. In the first two campaigns have Indian units.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yep. Yeah, they're making headway now, aren't they?
They've started to advance with their infantry.
Oh, they're still doing the artillery.
Firing artillery. Yeah, a little bit of artillery war going through. The chemical warfare part, we represent it with separate graphics in the second one because it was such a shock
Right.
to the
Yep.
Allies, to the Entente in that time period. But we fold in the chemical capabilities into these artillery units
Oh,
in
okay.
later
Yep.
scenarios. Yeah, so you don't see that big plume of mustard gas outside of the second scenario.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yep. And was that just because it was just standard doctrine at that stage?
Yes, because it was so integrated into the armies by that time,
Oh, okay.
by this
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Yeah. There were battles, were kind of interesting for all these. Like for this particular battle, I didn't find a lot of English sources on the reserves
Oh,
that
okay.
came up. But if I looked at some of the German sources, I found some pretty detailed information all the way down to the battalion level, which I was able to use in it. Um, and the great thing about this game is you can either pay attention to that or not pay attention to that. If you're a history geek like me, you're gonna love that level of detail. But if you're somebody who just loves to play the game, you don't have it doesn't affect how you play the game. So it's great.
So how did you implement that? Like, so you mentioned that like the Germans had like I guess that their record keeping must have been a lot stronger, I guess. So in that sort of sense, how does that show itself in the game?
It just shows itself in the name of the units, right? So if you're
Yep.
a military history buff, you're gonna know that hey, the Canadians were on the left flank, or
Yep.
the British Lancasters were here, or the German 14th Bavarian Corps was over here. And if you click on those places and you look at the name of the unit, you'll see it is, and you get sort of it's a satisfying turn of events to see the actual historical unit mentioned in a game. There goes those British infantry. They're advancing now.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yep. It's
Yeah,
pretty.
now you should see the British advance. There's an ambush.
Yep.
More British units attacking them at the top there. The unit's weak. It looks like it'll be gone now. Oh, it's not. That unit is holding on. And there goes that. I wonder if that's a New Zealand unit in the south there. But anyways, they're advancing into that gap created by the first unit. There. Looks like
Yep.
now a gap is up there at the hinge, you know, and road clearing up. Yeah, here they go. They're starting to come through the lines to attack the flanks. The troops that are entrenched.
Yes. Yep. Now, when a unit's, I mean, let's just say that unit survived and it was surrounded, it wouldn't be able to get supply, so that then starts to weaken it, doesn't it, over time?
Yeah. At that point, as the attacker, you have a choice. You can either bypass that unit
Yep.
and just keep a small force and let it wither on the vine, or you could eliminate it. I think depending upon the tactical situation, you would do one of those two things.
Yes. Yep. They've
Now,
broken
one thing
through
you
there,
can
haven't
see
they?
about yeah. Now, one thing you can see about this, if you look at some of the shell holes, you'll see some hexes that have multiple shell holes, and
Yep.
you'll see some hexes that just have one big shell hole. Can you see that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, those big shell holes are from those mines
Right.
being
Okay.
detonated under the trenches. Yeah.
So we've even seen combinations of like one big one with some little ones around it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so all of these that they've now crossed over, they just ripped their
Yeah.
way through that front line.
Yeah, you can see where the heaviest casualties are taking around where the mines were laid.
Right. Yep. Yep. So we're just at this stage. If anyone's watching this, we're not actually in control. Like this is the British turn, so we're not doing anything. We're just watching the
Yeah.
attack go in. There's Hill 60.
Yeah. There's Hill 60, your favorite movie. Yeah. And yeah, at this stage of the war, cavalry units existed, but when they were sent to the front line, they didn't take their horses. So not in this scenario, but in other scenarios, you'll see two British units. They look similar, very similar, but one has a name of like Third Cavalry. Vice, the infantry units were usually named, Fifth Infantry, or they have their city they're associated with, like Lancaster, London,
Yep.
some other name there. You see that in there, but yeah. So the cavalry was something that British, I think, were one of the few organizations that tried to use cavalry again in the mid part of the war. A lot of German casualties there.
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it? So if we go to the purchase now, and maybe we'll finish it off with this, but I'll just cancel that and look at the purchase. So where do we see the ones that were just destroyed? Like, do they?
So the ones that were on the front line were battalion level. Once they're destroyed, they don't come back.
Right. Yep. Yep.
But so you have these regiments that are available to purchase, and then as the British start moving forward, they will destroy regiments. Then you can purchase those.
Right. Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay. Interesting.
That's what I meant by the Germans not being as prepared. So they had a very thin line that was brittle. So not only did they receive a lot of artillery and mine casualties, but they just weren't that big.
Yes. Yeah. And there we go. They've got the max shells have gone up a little bit on this one as well to 6 in this particular
Yeah.
scenario. Yeah. Yeah, that's really, really fascinating. Actually, it's that was great. It's always good to get these little insights actually into the behind the scenes with these sorts of games. So,
Yeah.
don't know if anyone else has got any more questions before we sort of just wrap it up. But we've gone a little bit over time, so I hope that's okay, Robert. But yeah, thank you for your time. That was again very, very insightful. Always
Glad to do
interesting to
it.
talk about these sorts of things. and
Yeah, yeah.
and
It sure is.
it's interesting for me, like when we started to go through it, I think that the big takeaway for me is just how different each scenario actually is. I didn't realize the depth of the difference. Like it's sort of, it's not just superficial, is it? Every single scenario really is very, very unique. Like
Yeah, it's. I think that's one of the reasons that we kept the naming pretty standardized, first, second, third, fourth, fifth Ypres, was
yeah,
because it gives you this, like, you can't see behind the name. You have to actually get into and play the game to start to appreciate and see the differences. And
yeah,
you're sort of surprised. You're surprised, just like we started this conversation about the French being gassed in the second Ypres. You're surprised as well as the French
yes,
at
yeah.
that effect that gas has on your troops.
Right, yeah, yeah. That's fascinating. It's really, really interesting. Well, thank you, Robert, for your time. And yeah, so if anyone's interested, the game's coming out in 3 days' time on the 14th of July. And so there we go. So Beamslam saying thanks for the look. Interesting scenarios. Yeah, the scenarios look like very, very different. Like every single one of them. Like it's so yeah, that was really quite interesting to sort of see the difference. Like I guess with the other DLC, with like they're different areas of the world, so they sort of appear different because of that. But in this case, you really are fighting over the same length of ground, but in very, very different styles each time. That's really quite fascinating.
I got one last thing I forgot to mention it. Bill asked me to mention about the battlefield at Ypres today.
Yep.
If you do get a chance, we recommend people that can visit the battlefield. One of the things that Bill said he was struck with was just how close these places were. You could see. To imagine masses of men facing machine gun fire only 200 meters in front of them was incredible. So, if you ever get the chance, if you're lucky enough to go to Europe, or if you're in Europe, go visit the Battle of Ypres or the battle sites, and you'll get an appreciation for these games even more.
Yes, yeah, and also for I guess, the human tragedy of what happened at these places. I mean, there was so many people lost their lives in just this one little area. It's
Yeah. There's plenty of, I guess, memorials there.
yeah. Anyway, Robert, thank you again for your time. Very, very much appreciated. Bill was going to try to join us, but he couldn't. He couldn't actually make it. So there was going to be three of us on.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he'll make the next one.
yeah, maybe next time. That'd be good.
We'll twist his arm next time.
Because you and Bill, of course, work very, very closely on all of these different projects. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. And
hopefully next time.
I got to
Okay.
mention this was Bill's. This was Bill's idea. He actually wanted to have a series of battles in the initial game, the base game, but he never got around to doing it. So when he mentioned that, when we were discussing about what to do in the future, he mentioned this, and I said, Bill, we got to do this because it was something. Bill always has a good sense for what the community is going to like.
Yes, yeah. I think that's the other thing too. I guess that's worth sort of talking about. I mean, you guys are very active, like on Matrix forums again. Like it's sort of, it really does connect developers with their community in a very, very, in a very secure way, doesn't it? Like, and it always has, like for decades now.
Yeah, over
You know.
25 years now. Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
yeah. It's been a real go-to for so many different games, and you are dealing directly with, as you know, with you guys really, like when you actually sort of are talking on those channels for many of those games, which is just awesome. So
Yeah, yeah.
all right, well we'll wrap it up there. So yeah, thanks
Okay.
thanks Robert, and hopefully Bill can join us for the if we do this again in the future, which would be awesome. We'll catch you then. Thanks guys for watching.
Take care, Das.